Owa, the unfortunate child. In the green soft hills of Kwaka, between big trees and shining rivers, is the quiet and peaceful Kwaka village. Known for its vibrant culture and harmonious community, Kwaka village was a haven for its residents. However, this peace was threatened when tragedy struck in the life of a newborn child named Owa. Before Uwa was born, it took Mma and Ido 10 solid years of inability to have a child of their own. Mma faced so much pain and worries, praying with tears every day and night to have her own child. She was segregated from the village women's gathering because she was not considered a complete woman due to her inability to bear children. Children pointed fingers at her and laughed at her each time she was seen outside her home. Ido, Mma's husband, and Nne, her mother-in-law, were her only comfort and hope. They always assured Mma that she would have a child of her own. Nne loved Mma so much because Mma was an orphan whose background nobody could tell. Nne found Mma abandoned on her farm one morning when she went to fetch grass for her goats. Ever since, she has been the one taking care of Mma. She has always seen Mma as a mysterious child who brings wealth and luck to her family. That is why when her son Ido was up to the age of marriage, Nne asked him to marry Mma so that her good luck could be retained in the family. But to Nne's greatest surprise, Mma could not bear children 10 years after her marriage to Ido. But Nne never showed her displeasure. Instead, she kept praying and believing that one day Mma would give her grandchildren. Before Mma got married, she was the most beautiful maiden in the Kwaka community. She was every man's desire for marriage. Her lens eyes pop with beauty each time she smiles. Her voice echoed melody whenever she opened her mouth to sing. She was loved by all. But everything turned around 2 years into her marriage when she could not have her own children. Ido was advised by her friends and well-wishers to get another wife as they doubted if Mma would give him a child. But Ido was resolute in staying and remaining faithful to Mma until the end. He showed her all the love and support he could as a husband. They visited different local midwives to check what the problem was, but all they said was that Mma was very fertile and Ido was very fertile. All the midwives said the same thing: wait, in due time you will have a child. It's been 10 years, yet nothing happens. But as luck would have it, on the exact 10th year of their marriage anniversary, Ido met with his wife Mma. One thing led to another, and 4 weeks later, Mma started feeling some symptoms, which she called malaria. When Nne noticed her, she called her in and examined her with an eye of maturity and experience in pregnancy. Lo and behold, Mma was pregnant. To be sure that she was not cursing, Nne took Mma to the nearest midwife and it was confirmed that Mma was pregnant. The news spread like a wildfire. The whole village gathered at Ido's house to congratulate and celebrate with him. Mma's respect returned and she was loved again by everyone in Kwaka village. Little did she know that what was ahead was far beyond her imagination. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. The day finally came. Mma was due to deliver. All preparation was made to receive the new baby with all joy and love. In the Kwaka community, preparations for a newborn's arrival are often a community effort rooted in tradition and cultural practices. Relatives and close family members always come together to offer support and guidance to the expectant parents. Rituals like blessings, prayers, and purification ceremonies were performed to ensure safe delivery and the baby's well-being. Nne and the other women in the family made sure that the home was clean and a special room was designated for the new mother and baby, adorned with traditional decorations and art. Traditional foods like yam, akamo, plantain, dried fish, spices, and all other food items needed for a new mother were gotten and prepared for Mma awaiting her delivery. Neighbors and community members were all on standby to offer help with household chores, childcare, and emotional support to Mma. Ido, Mma's husband, made sure that he employed the service of experienced village midwives to render assistance with the delivery. Items like clothing, blankets, and baby carriers were all bought in preparation for the arrival of Mma's baby. Each women of Quaker village were all ready to make prayers before, during, and after Mma's delivery. On the week that Mma was expected to have her baby, on the second day of the week, Ido, out of excitement, decided to go out and tap the special palm wines he reserved for his dear child's delivery so that he could use them to entertain his guests. Just when he had finished tapping and was descending from the tree, Ido slipped and fell from the top of the palm tree to the ground. He couldn't make it out of the palm wine farm. Ini, the boy who accompanied him to the farm, was the one who raised the alarm to get people to help Ido survive, but before help could come, he gave up. The news spread like a flood, and before one could say Jack, Mma received the news and immediately went into hot labor. Nne, who was so unhappy about the loss of her son, barely controlled her feelings to save Mma. All the midwives and the elderly women in the Quaker community came in mass to make sure that Mma was delivered safely and soundly. But the journey became very tough as the child did not come out. They did everything within their power, all to no avail. But at exactly midnight, when all hope was swindled, they heard the sound of a child. Everyone jumps in shock and jubilation to receive the baby. Mma was so weak, but she managed to ask for the child. The child was placed in her hand, and in tears she named her Uwami, meaning my sorrow. A few minutes after she handed the child over to Nne, she asked for water. But before water was brought to her, she gave up. Nne could not bear it anymore. She passed out. Mena, Nne's friend, let out a very loud scream that shook the foundation of the mud house. Nne! Uwa's bed was marked by an unsettling shadow. Her parents, who were well loved and respected in the village, died under mysterious circumstances before and shortly after her arrival. Their deaths left a profound sadness in Quaker village, and the infant Uwa was suddenly orphaned. The villagers, grappling with their grief, saw Uwa's arrival as an omen of misfortune. Many believed her presence was a curse that had come to claim more lives. Uwa's grandmother, Nne, a kind-hearted woman, took her in. Though she was elderly and frail, Nne's love for her granddaughter was unwavering. She raised Uwa with tenderness and care, nurturing her despite the harsh whispers of the villagers. Nne often told Uwa stories of their ancestors, imparting wisdom and fortitude to her young mind, letting her know that though her name means sorrow, she can make herself a problem solver, leaving the opposite of her name. Nne wanted to change Uwa's name, but feared what would happen as the mother who named her Uwa was no longer alive to support her change of name. So, instead of calling her Uwami, she chose to call her Uwa, and that was the name she was known for in Quaker village. As Uwa grew, the villagers' distrust and fear of her existence grew as well. They avoided eye contact with her and often spoke in hushed tones about her, calling her unfortunate child. Despite this, Uwa remained unfazed. She developed a keen sense of perception and heightened awareness, traits that seem almost supernatural to those who witnessed them. She grew in beauty and wisdom just like her mother. Uwa was often seen wandering the village with a quiet, contemplating comportment. Uwa has an uncommon and mysterious gift that no one was aware of until later in her early 20s. She could sense things beyond the visible. She heard conversations through walls, saw movement through dense foliage, and perceived intentions before they were spoken. It became the talk of the town that Uwa was definitely a child from the gods. While the villagers attributed these abilities to supernatural forces, Uwa and Nne saw them as gifts. One fateful day, the peace of Kwaka village was shattered by the arrival of a formidable enemy. A neighboring village, driven by jealousy and greed, sought to conquer Kwaka for its fertile lands and resources. The invaders planned their attack in secrecy, gathering forces and strategizing to overtake Kwaka under the cover of night. As the enemy closed in on the village, Uwa's extraordinary abilities came into play. One evening, while walking near the edge of the village, Uwa heard whispers carried by the wind. The voices were distant but clear, revealing the invaders' plan to launch a surprise attack at dawn. Uwa's sharp eyes caught glimpses of the enemy scouts moving stealthily through the forest. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Uwa hurried to her grandmother and explained what she had discovered. Nne, though worried, recognized the significance of Uwa's words. The two devised a plan to alert the village leaders and prepare for the impending threat. Uwa, despite being an outcast, was determined to prove her worth. She approached the village council, her heart pounding as she relayed the information she had gathered. But no one, including the village chiefs, believed her. Chief Ako said to Uwa,
"It is not enough that you sent your parents to an early grave. You now want to send a whole village, strong and mighty, into chaos with your unverified tales. You are lucky that Nne is here with you. If not, you would have been thrown out of this village into the forest a long time ago."
Everyone concurred with murmurings of yes, some whispers, don't mind her, she's showing herself. Nne felt disappointed and regretted accepting to go to the council with Uwa to inform them of the pending threats. But Uwa was convinced and never took any of their words to heart, instead devised a means of proving them wrong. After much talk, Uwa finally told the elders that if what she had said was not true, they should throw her out of the village by dawn. Upon hearing this, the elders, initially skeptical, were eventually persuaded by the urgency and detail in Uwa's words. The village leaders, guided by Uwa's intelligence, took swift action. They fortified their defenses, prepared weapons, and arranged strategic positions around the village. The villagers, initially doubtful, rallied together under the guidance of their newfound leader, Uwa. Her ability to foresee movements and anticipate the enemy's actions gave them an edge. As dawn approached, the enemy launched their attack. The invaders, confident in their surprise, were met with unexpected resistance. Uwa's warnings had allowed Kwaka's defenders to be ready. The battle was fierce, but the villagers fought valiantly, using the knowledge and strategies Uwa had provided. Uwa continued to be a crucial asset during the battle. She guided the villagers, directing them to where the enemy was weakest and helping them counter the invaders' moves. Her insights into the enemy's plans and her ability to foresee their strategies turned the tide in favor of Kwaka. The battle ended with a decisive victory for Kwaka village. The invaders, taken aback by the village resilience and tactical prowess, retreated. The once feared Uwa was celebrated as a hero. Her gifts, which had been shrouded in suspicion, were now recognized as invaluable to the village survival. The villagers, humbled and grateful, began to see Uwa in a new light. They acknowledged her contributions and the role she had played in saving their lives. Uwa's acceptance into the community was both a personal and collective victory, symbolizing the triumph of courage and insight over prejudice and fear. With the threats behind them, Quaker village flourished. Uwa continued to serve as the village eyes and ears, helping to maintain peace and prosperity. Her once uncertain future was now filled with promise, and she became a beacon of hope and wisdom for her people. The king of Quaker village was overwhelmed by Uwa's gifts and how his kingdom was delivered through it. One day, he called all the villagers together to celebrate Uwa and Nne. The maidens danced in admiration of the young men, and the wrestlers also showcased their skills in entertaining the people. It was a great gathering. Then the king made his pronouncement because he had initially discussed with his only son, Ata, to marry Uwa to maintain her gifts in the community. When the king announced to the community that Uwa would, from that moment, be a part of his family and a part of his kindred, everyone let out a loud shout and dance to celebrate the king's decisions. There and then, Uwa was decorated as a princess with the king's son. Nne was highly rewarded and recommended as the mother of a great woman. She was honored to be part of the Quaker chiefs. The celebration ended in eating and drinking with all manner of food displayed and served. But the fear of what happened to Uwa's mother was still fresh in their hearts. Some gossips couldn't help but talk about Uwa and pray that what happened to her mother doesn't happen to her. But to everyone's amazement, 4 weeks after Uwa's marriage to the king's son, Ata, she became pregnant. 9 months later, Uwa gave birth to not just one child, but triplets, 2 boys and a girl. The whole village of Quaker was thrown into a mood of celebration for 7 days. No one works nor cooks in his or her home for 7 days. All the villagers ate and drank at the king's palace in celebration of Uwa's childbirth, day and night for 7 days. Uwa's story was passed down through generations as a tale of resilience, showing how one person's unique gift could alter the fate of an entire community. Quaker village thrived under her watchful eye, and Uwa's legacy lived on as proof of the strength found in understanding and embracing one another's differences. And so, Uwa, the child once seen as an omen of misfortune, became the blessing and guardian of Quaker. Her extraordinary gifts forever intertwined with the village's enduring spirit. And so, she became a woman loved by all the people in Quaker village. Thank you for watching. What lessons have you learned from this story? Feel free to tell us in the comment section. Watch out for our next mind-blowing stories at Sepolin Creative Academy. Peace cares.